everyone. If you're watching this video, then you are part of the TTOR army. An army that is building itself up one subscriber at a time. And yes, as you can see from the title and thumbnail of today's video, today we're going to be talking about how alt tech is dead. No, I am not referring to websites like FTJ Media and Gettr when I say alt tech is dead. FTJ Media is going along strong, and Gettr, my video sharing site, will be back up for people to upload to as soon as I purchase some servers for video storage. When I talk about alt tech being dead, I'm talking about alt tech sites that have been around for about 8 to 12 years plus. We're talking about sites like BitChute and Rumble and Odysee, and we're talking about brighteon.com, the video sharing site, and we're talking about sites like Minds and Gab and TruthSocial and Gettr. You see, there was a period of time about 5 to 6 years ago, maybe you want to say 7 years ago if you want to stretch it back to 2018. There was a period of time where alt tech sites were growing and growing fast because of all the censorship that was going on mainstream social media sites like Twitter, like YouTube, like Facebook, like Instagram, etc. So these alt tech sites were all growing, and I jumped on board back then onto all these sites, and I really took advantage of them, and especially sites like BitChute and Gab, I grew a lot on. Sites like Brighteon and YouTube and NewTube and PewTube and all that stuff, I kind of got some followers here and there and some views and engagement here and there, but I never really took off like I did on Gab and like I did on BitChute. So alt tech was fun for a while. It was rapidly growing. It seemed at the time that alt tech actually had a chance of supplanting the mainstream legacy media tech like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, etc. But unfortunately, alt tech sites started engaging in censorship about 5 years ago, and their leaders got exposed for being a bunch of lying grifters, and a lot of the people who were promoting these alt tech websites, well, they just stopped promoting them, and over time we've seen basically all of these sites, all of them are now dead, pretty much. And by dead, I don't mean they're gone. They're still there. There's still some people using them, but it is not the active pool that it used to be 5 years ago. It's not going to take down Silicon Valley anytime soon. Sites like Gab, TruthSocial, Gettr especially, which are like the biggest alternatives to Facebook and Twitter, they're really ghost towns at this point. Gettr was a Twitter alternative that popped up in 2021, and over the next year and two, it kind of had momentum spurts here and there, but it could never sustain it, and now Gettr at this point is pretty much a ghost town. TruthSocial's basically the same way, unless you're interacting with Donald Trump's posts that he makes on TruthSocial. Generally you're going to have zero engagement and zero interaction over on TruthSocial with your own posts or basically interacting with anyone else's posts. Basically, TruthSocial is a ghost town with the exception of Donald Trump's account. And then you look at Gab. Gab used to make a bunch of headlines and used to have real, genuine growth, and it used to be a great place to get exposure to new information that you hadn't before, and it was a great way to reach a whole new audience. But now Gab itself, while not quite a ghost town, basically Andrew Torba came out as a lying grifter and a heretic, the leader of a cult of personality. He actually proved that he's under God's curse by teaching a gospel other than the one that Paul and Jesus and the New Testament teach. And he also engaged in a little bit of censorship here and there. So Andrew Torba came out of the closet as the freak parade that he is, and basically all the sane, normal people stopped using Gab, left Gab, and pretty much the only people left are all the crazy people who follow Andrew Torba's cult of personality, which is largely a lot of heretical Christians and a lot of people who are bigoted against Jews. So Gab is pretty much useless as a long-term alternative. I mean, I still use Gab to share all my videos, and I still use TruthSocial and Gettr to share my videos, but it is looking pretty sparse out there in the alt-tech world. It is very much a dead movement at this point. I mean, even the sites that are still working somewhat for me are not what they once were. Like, for example, let's take my BitChute channel. Over on BitChute, I have over 2,300 subscribers, currently at 2,332 at the time of this recording, and I get a lot of views still on my BitChute videos. I mean, you go to my About page, you see that I just cracked 758,000 total video views. You go to my videos page and you go look at videos from like a month ago or so, and you see that I still get a couple hundred to several hundred views on pretty much every video I put out on BitChute. And then if you go looking back from a couple years ago and beyond, you'll see that I have lots of videos with over 1,000 plus views. In fact, I have so many videos with 1,000 or more views on BitChute that I honestly can't keep count. And if I were to attempt to go count them all, we might be talking triple digits. I mean, BitChute has been a great site for me historically, and it is where I have my biggest following. My 2,332 subs, believe it or not, actually put me in at least the top 7% of channels on BitChute. At one point, I was in the top 5% of creators on BitChute in terms of subscribers and total video views, but I doubt that I'm still in the top 5%, so I conservatively say 7%. But even though I still get plenty of views on my BitChute videos, I have noticed that my engagement has gone way down. I still get the occasional comment, I still get the occasional like on my videos, but they are nowhere near as many as they used to be back when BitChute was a growing, happening site and my channel was growing and happening. So BitChute, I would say, even though I get plenty of views on my videos over here, I would say BitChute is pretty much dead in the water. And a similar thing is true, unfortunately, with Rumble, although in a slightly different way. Now, for a long time, Rumble was good for me. I was slowly getting a subscriber count going on Rumble. My videos that I would upload to Rumble would get just as many and sometimes more views than the YouTube versions of those videos. And I thought, wow, this is really happening. And then every time I do a live stream, that live stream would get like 150 to 200 and sometimes even 300 views. And I would get like 8 to 12 live viewers on almost every stream I did. Like my Rumble channel at one point was happening and lively and things were going awesome. But now on Rumble, I'm lucky if I can get any views on my videos. If I do a live stream, I can still get several dozen views on a stream, which is nice. But my live viewer counts have gone down to like 2 to 4 people per live stream. I get more activity, honestly, on my live streams over on FTJ Media, even though most of the people who are interacting with my streams over there are not necessarily the kind of people who agree with me ideologically, but at least they interact with my stream and watch it, whereas Rumble, it's not what it once was. It's not what it was a year or two ago for me. And if I do an offline upload like I do to YouTube, I get almost no views. As you can see, my recent video about Jack Posebic only has 11 views on Rumble, which is odd because Rumble's a site that caters to politics and those kind of people, and so you would think a video like that would get some views considering how popular Jack is over on Twitter. But no, not the case. And then you go scrolling through my uploads over the last couple of months and you see that over on Rumble, my videos are struggling to get views after a long period of time where that wasn't an issue. So yeah, it's obvious that Rumble is not good in terms of my growth on my channel. Now, if you go perusing around Rumble, you'll see that there's a lot of really popular people who use Rumble, and they get really high view counts on their videos and live streams on Rumble. But I think the reason why other people are experiencing a lot of views and engagement and some growth on Rumble, and why people like me no longer are, I think a big part of that is that over time, Rumble has stopped trying to be a YouTube competitor, and they've instead decided to make themselves a Twitch competitor, because they've added features on the site that you can find on Twitch. They have a special emphasis on live streaming whenever they're promoting the site. They constantly are trying to get streamers to use Rumble. And when they open up their content creator program that they do to try and help smaller channels become bigger channels, the channels that they are looking for to be in their partner program, they are always channels that stream at least 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day, which is great if you're a streamer who does that on a regular basis. But if you're someone like me who does one live stream for a couple hours every week or every other week, and most of your videos are things that you film offline and then upload to the site, people like me are not even remotely eligible to be part of Rumble's partner program. And it's not because we don't get views or we don't post enough content, it's because we don't live stream. I mean, Rumble is literally a Twitch competitor at this point instead of a YouTube competitor, and so people like me who have been YouTubers for a really long time and we're used to doing things in a way that is conducive to growing on YouTube, well, we just aren't growing on Rumble much. I mean, if you go scrolling through my Rumble history, you'll see I got a lot of views on a lot of videos, but all the recent stuff is hard-pressed to get views. It's just really tough sledding on Rumble. Now, Rumble is still a good place to stream to. It's easy to stream to their site, and I really enjoy having somewhere other than YouTube to stream to, even though I have more recently started streaming to YouTube again. But yeah, Rumble and BitChute, which are probably the two best places in terms of my alt-tech presence, even they are not what they once were. So it is a sad, sad day. The alt-tech movement is really dead. And what's really funny is the one place where I'm actually growing somewhat in terms of getting new subscribers and getting likes on my content in terms of my videos and getting engagement with my videos in terms of comments and likes and people hitting that subscribe button, and where the only real growth is happening, it's my YouTube channel of all things. My YouTube channel. After all these years of YouTube censorship and me investing in alt-tech platforms, my YouTube channel is the only thing at this point that is really growing at all in terms of the TTOR network, I guess you could call it. Everywhere else I've been investing for years into is basically dead for the most part. I mean, BitChute, I still reach some people. I still get hundreds of views on all my videos, but channel growth is impossible there. If I gain a subscriber or two, I usually lose a subscriber or two with the next video. So basically, I'm stuck where I'm at subscriber count-wise on BitChute, and I don't get the engagement on my videos I once did, which is sad. And Rumble is definitely seeing a decrease in engagement and views on my content, which I don't live for that stuff, but after having some moderate success on Rumble not that long ago, to see my numbers and metrics go all the way down is just, it's just a slightly depressing thing, but not something that's going to stop me from using the site, especially since YouTube still censors people. They still do stuff that's screwy, and so I have to maintain these presences on Rumble and BitChute and these alt-tech sites like Gettr and TruthSocial because, well, YouTube censorship is a thing still, hasn't really gone away. As a matter of fact, in a lot of ways, it's worse than back when alt-tech sites were growing and thriving. Twitter, I can get some engagement on, but I can't consistently grow there because I'll gain a bunch of followers and then I'll lose a bunch of followers. And I think it's a bunch of bots being cleaned out, but I never can control who decides to follow me on Twitter. Plus, Twitter, even though they're now owned by Elon Musk, and even though they've allowed some people back onto their platform who were previously banned under the old Twitter administration, well, unfortunately, Twitter still censors people too. Not as much as they used to, but they still censor people. And so I know I could be on the chopping block any day now over on Twitter. It could happen. We'll see. But yeah, it's quite the thing, guys, seeing my YouTube channel in 2025 being pretty much the one social media presence I have that's getting any real growth and engagement. And all the stuff I've spent years investing into and growing, that stuff's pretty much dead at this point. It's sad because back in the day when alt text sites were starting up and they were growing, there were people back then who were objecting to their existence and basically saying that they were just these little ho-dunk websites and they stood no chance against YouTube and all that fun stuff. And I didn't want to believe them at the time. Frankly, I still don't, because I saw real significant growth on these sites back in the late 2010s, early 2020s. If these websites hadn't shot themselves in the foot and started censoring people and grifting off of people, they probably would have continued growing and they would have been mainstream by now, or at least really close to being mainstream. But instead, they've shot themselves all in the foot, and mainstream tech is still going strong. So we're almost back to square one with where we were in terms of the internet and censorship 10 years ago. But not to worry, guys, I am still going to be putting out my videos when I can. I know I got plenty of topics that I need to make videos about, and I will definitely be working on those when I can. It's tough, though, because I have a full-time job that I work, and I also have a gaming channel that I do, and I try to make time for friends and family, and so I can't exactly nail down a consistent schedule at this point for putting out videos, but I will make an effort to do at least one video upload a week, if not 2 or 3. And I will make an effort to at least once every 2 weeks, if not every week, do a live stream on the weekends, because I do like doing live streams. I like putting together intros. I like having music playing during those intros, and I like being able to interact with people in an off-the-cuff, unscripted format. I like doing that at this point because it's kind of therapeutic, kind of relaxing, even if I'm not always fully prepared to answer questions that are in front of me. But I definitely need to keep doing that, but I also need to keep putting out my videos that I've been putting out for years, videos that require more prep and research and all that. Because I got lots of things on the list that I need to do videos about, and I just need to get to it. Now, I've been rambling on at this point for way too long, so if you enjoyed watching this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button, check out my other videos, leave your likes and comments down below. And if you want to check out my presences on these other websites that I mentioned earlier, you can find links to all those in the description box below as well. And with that, I bid you guys adieu and farewell, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!